think my fellow panelists here have done a really great job going through some of the basics. So I'm going to blaze through at the beginning of the presentation, just give a couple additional insights on basic ways to optimize your video, and then from there I'm going to do a little deep dive on two of the YouTube products. The first one, Insight, which is our version of analytics, and secondly, YouTube-sponsored videos, which I'm especially proud of because I launched it, is our paid search product. So talk a little bit about the SEM components of video as well. So to begin with, I think you guys have heard this already. YouTube is the largest video platform in the world today. Hundreds of millions of users, fourth largest web property, second largest search engine. This is great in terms of the potential of reaching a very large audience. However, on the other hand, one thing that you have to be aware of is that every single minute, over 15 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube. This creates an interesting situation where you're competing with a lot of additional people to get that viewership, but at the same time there's a lot of opportunity. How do you untap it? First, very basic stuff that we've already covered. Title, description, tags, make sure it's very comprehensive. I'm going to point out a couple things that haven't been discussed yet. Within all of these, you want to be very comprehensive, but you also want to avoid keyword stuffing. That's the term we use for using irrelevant key terms in your tags or your description. So this is actually also one thing that we can talk about, that we take it as a factor for our video search ranking. So if you have a lot of inconsistent terms, a lot of popular terms that we don't feel like capture the story of the video, then we'll actually penalize your video in terms of search ranking. So as Greg described, definitely use a lot of keyword suggestions, figure out related keywords to your video and existing tags you put on already, but definitely avoid keyword stuffing. Another thing that we haven't talked about yet that I encourage all of you guys to explore are the various different community options. How do you make your videos more appealing to users after they show up in search results or other parts of YouTube beyond just getting that great placement? So one thing to do is to share videos with other members of the community. So YouTube has a lot of fairly popular members that have already established a following. It's very reasonable and possible to get in contact with them, become their friends, start sharing videos with them. Use video responses when your video is relevant to their video. A lot of users will go to those videos, see that, and potentially click on your video. Again, you want to do this in a very ethical and honest way, because if we see that you are trying to spam, then we'll penalize you. But if you are doing it in the correct way, then it's definitely a benefit. Also, for your video thumbnail, we gave you a choice of 3 thumbnails. Definitely pick one that's very highly engaging rather than just taking the default thumbnail. Finally, annotations is one of our newer engagement features. It's a great way to add inline comments or bubbles, link to other YouTube videos or your YouTube channel. This way you can start a very nice loop. If a user watches one of your videos, you can invite them to watch another video by allowing them to click directly within a frame. I want to talk a little bit about Insight, which is our analytics product. So one of the key things here is, rather than just getting viewership one time and assuming that's the best you can do, this really is an iterative process. You can use your analytics tool to learn about how the past performance of your videos. That really empowers your future decisions. So analytics, in Insight, there's 5 main features. Your popularity, where are you getting views, geography, and also in time variable, when are you getting those views. There's demographics. We have a discovery tab that tells you exactly where users are coming from embedded players or different search terms on YouTube search or Google search. More recently, we launched hotspots, which lets you look at exactly where users are engaged or disengaged with their videos. So where are they dropping off in your video versus where a lot of users are watching. And finally, just last week, we launched the community tab that gives you even more detail about interaction. You'll be able to see across both time and geography where users are rating your video and selecting it as favorites. So I'm going to talk about discovery and community a little bit in more detail. So Greg also showed an example with his case study about how 30-something% of his traffic came from search. You're also able to see other parts of discovery. So where users have been to on other parts of YouTube to click on your video. The embedded player, for example, in this case, the embedded player had 24% of views. If you click on the YouTube search, Google search related videos, you'll be able to get an even deeper level of detail, what search terms are actually resulting in views. And this is all customizable over the time variable. So if this is February through November, you should definitely see what happens when you change your tags and key terms, and then what happens over those specific time frames. And the community tab, we just launched this last week. Again, one of the ultimate goals here is not just viewership, it's to understand how much of the video the user is viewing, and also what's the next step. Are they going to favorite your video? Are they going to rate your video positively? And these are all things that we're breaking out now in this new tab. You're able to see this, again, by geography and also time. Let me give you a real-life example. So Weezer, hopefully you guys have all heard of them. They and their music label, Universal Music, wanted to do a different type of launch. So they launched their music video on YouTube with a collection of YouTube users. Previous videos have been popular. They did a little remix. It was a very popular video. So that was great, but they were even able to enhance that by looking into insight. They found that there were two observations. Number one, their demographic was a little bit older, a little bit more male than they expected. And secondly, a lot of the views came from the embedded player, and those were linked from popular tech blogs and news sites like TechCrunch. So from there, they decided to cater their future advertising campaigns toward that niche crowd as well. So when they went on tour, when they had other campaigns, they started advertising with some of these tech blogs as well as their normal means of advertising. So this is a way where you can take that knowledge that you've learned from Insight and really apply it to your future campaigns and iterate over time. I'm going to shift gears now and talk very quickly about sponsored videos, paid search for YouTube. The idea here is we wanted to mirror Google in offering a product that allows you to get that paid placement while also optimizing for user experience and making sure users are happy. So what you'll see here, there's a thumbnail, very similar to or exactly similar to the left-hand side, as well as 3 lines of promotion text. The creatives themselves actually click to YouTube watch pages or channel pages, just like the left-hand side organic results, and it's very similar to Google in that it's CPC bids, and you're able to bid on keywords that you're interested in to reach the audience that you really want to target. There's 2 ways to access the product. Number one, if you're a very large advertiser agency, you can work directly with our account teams. Secondly, we've built a very simple, slim, self-serve interface to make the AdWords experience even easier. You can very quickly select your own video, customize the keywords you want to target in your bid, and within a matter of minutes have your campaign up and running. And to close, I'll give you a case study for an advertiser that used YouTube-sponsored videos. So Zag is a company that builds different types of products for gadgets. So one of their more popular products is the Invisible Shield, which is this very thin, scratch-resistant film that they use for iPhones, MacBook Pros, etc. So they wanted to run a campaign with us to ultimately drive conversions. And what they found is by capturing the power of sight, sound, and motion, as opposed to just text descriptions, they were actually able to increase the number of conversions and also have those conversions at a cheaper cost than some of their traditional search campaigns. So again, if you have a product you would like to demo and you think a video is a great way of telling that story, definitely consider how YouTube as well as the paid search product can be a factor in your campaign. With that, we'll close and open up for questions.
Fantastic. So we did leave plenty of